Yo, what's going on everybody? So today I want to have a very huge discussion with you guys about Boruto chapter 39 and about some of the stuff that has been slipped into the chapter in passing. And I'm gonna say right now, if you're an anime only viewer, I highly recommend clicking off of this video if you don't want any spoilers for the future of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Obviously, if you're still here, then I am gonna go ahead and start talking about spoilers. So as I was taking another look at Boruto chapter 39, right? As I was taking another look, I inevitably found myself coming right back to the panel where you have Boruto and Kawaki and they have the horns of the Otsutsuki clan sticking out of their head, and you have the dialogue text where Isshiki Otsutsuki aka Jigen is talking, and he says that Boruto and Kawaki, their karma is coming together nicely and that sooner or later they will become powerful Otsutsuki, full vessels for the clan. And in particular, he says that they will be responsible for producing a god tree that will be able to drain the world of its chakra. And when you take into account the next line of dialogue that Jigen speaks, he talks to Amato and says, "Don't worry, everyone's dreams will come true." And as soon as you hear that, that's the same promise that Madara made to Obito when Madara was spinning Obito's head, filled with all these different lies and everything in order to make him serve. And because Obito was in a vulnerable place, as I've talked about potentially Amato being in a dangerous and vulnerable place as well in another video that should be up on the channel right now, given the fact that that is something that happened, I could definitely see a scenario where this is an indication that we are gonna see an Infinite Tsukuyomi happen. Now I know somebody's gonna say, well, you have to have the, I believe, the Rennie Sharingan in order to be able to activate it. But here's the thing, yeah, you have to have the Rennie Sharingan in order to activate the Infinite Tsukuyomi. But look at the context of everything that surrounds it. Look at the pros with it. And given the fact we don't know how exactly Isshiki Otsutsuki looks in his own body, we've seen it in the hologram, but when it comes to the eyes and everything, we don't know if he has the ability to activate that Rennie Sharingan at will. So it's something we have to at least consider, because we don't know how the Otsutsuki clan works. We don't know if there's more than one way to activate something like the Infinite Tsukuyomi. And so let's look at a little bit of information about the Infinite Tsukuyomi and why this is important. And what I'm going to be using is actually coming from the 4th Naruto data book, because you got a lot of information about Infinite Tsukuyomi from that. So one of the benefits to actually using the Infinite Tsukuyomi is that it allows everyone to be caught into a genjutsu. Everyone knows that. That's why we got that filler arc in the anime, seeing everyone's dreams while they're being placed under the Infinite Tsukuyomi. But if you look at that, one of the other things we see is that because they are immobilized, you were able to see the god tree be able to take its time to wrap all the victims up into the god tree, into those little cocoons. And when you look at the data book, one of the things that gets told to us is that over the course of several years, the humans that are connected to the tree are going to be gradually drained of their life. They're going to be drained of their personalities and of their defining features, and it's going to reduce them into a shell of their former self, and ultimately it's how they're going to be turned into a white Zetsu. But at the same time, while all of this is going on over the course of those years, you're going to see chakra fruits being developed. And so when you look at the Otsutsuki clan, one thing that we do know is that they go to these different planets, they harvest chakra. And if you look at what's going on with Jigen, there's a potential that they've also been going to these different planets and creating other ten tails. And so when you look at these possibilities, it's definitely there that Isshiki Otsutsuki could very well have this as a plan. And if this indeed the case, obviously that opens up the door for a very popular theory that Isshiki is actually Kaguya's partner or some type of mate to her, and it will explain why Isshiki is now on Earth after all these years. Time moves differently for the members in the Otsutsuki clan. They live for thousands of years, so time moves differently for them. So what for us was hundreds of years from the existence of Kaguya in this world, it's only like a few seconds to a character like that, or maybe a few months, however time passes for that character. So it would make sense that this is his ultimate goal, to drain the chakra fruit and drain the chakra from people in order to produce the chakra fruit. And back-to-back chapters we've seen twice how Sasuke and now Jigen is implying that the ultimate goal is to create a chakra fruit in order to harvest the planet. So it's one of those things where you can't overthink this, and you can't throw away the possibility that this is the route that's going to be going. And one thing I could find to be very interesting is the fact that, let's say this does happen, the fact that Naruto's own son and his adopted son in Kawaki are pretty much responsible for creating another god tree. This has a great chance for conflict, because one of the issues I had with the Naruto manga when it came to the war arc is that there weren't any real stakes when it comes to the war arc. Like, you had a war where when it comes to the good guys, only fodder died. Like Neji's death was not impactful because Neji, outside of what happened during the Chunin exams and his brief moment in the Sasuke retrieval arc, Neji in the manga had no real development. The last real time he had any real significant cameo in the manga was way back in the Kazekage rescue arc. So again, for a character like Neji to die, it wasn't very impactful. The whole thing with the world being placed under the Infinite Tsukuyomi, while those were huge stakes, at the same time there was no real doubt that that was something that was going to be full, because Masashi Kishimoto had already spoiled the ending for us in the sense that we knew that the Naruto versus Sasuke battle would be the last fight, and with how everything was shaping up before Neji died, we knew that there was a possibility that was going to take place after everything with Madara and after the whole situation with the war was settled. And so when you start looking at all these different factors, right, all of a sudden Naruto's placed in a tough decision, because he has to decide potentially, is the life of his son more important than stopping the divine tree from stripping the chakra fruit from people? This also opens up the door for someone like Sasuke to come up with a way to unseal or undo the karma seal that is on Boruto, because we know Sasuke is looking through all these different dimensions for answers on the Otsutsuki clan. The same thing with Kawaki. If Kawaki is taken over by Isshiki, we could see finally Naruto in a situation where he has to take the life of someone who is close to him, or even better yet, Boruto. This is going to be very good. This is going to be very good, just the level of investment and the level of conflict that is put there for us, because now this is something that you can't back away from. You have to go full steam ahead on it. But I want to know from you guys, what are your thoughts about the possibility that Isshiki Otsutsuki is on the path to using another Infinite Tsukuyomi in order to make people stationary, in order to harvest the chakra to create another chakra fruit? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.